You only need to know me. I will be the one.
So I'm going to start covering the spoilers for One Piece occasionally. It depends on whether or not I'm trying to spoil myself, and what I can say is we are definitely not covering the spoilers when One Piece ends. I can't think of a bigger L someone can take than spoiling themselves on the ending of One Piece. But you've been warned, this video is covering spoilers for chapter 1061. The thumbnail and title will never have spoilers in it, so subscribe if you like discussion and theory content surrounding One Piece, because that's still going to happen. I have a few big videos about Imu, Shanks, and Zoro I've been working on for weeks or half a year now in some cases, so stay tuned. So a quick summary of the spoilers before I break down what this could all potentially mean, and yes, this is an outline of bullet points, the main events of the chapter, not the full spoilers. Chapter 1061, Egghead, the Island of the Future. The Straw Hat Gang sails to Egghead, the island of the future that belongs to Vegapunk. In a base of the Marines near the island are the children of Punk Hazard, Tashigi, and some members of Sword. Helmeppo wants to borrow Vegapunk's Seraphim to save Kobe. Luffy, Jinbei, Chopper, and Bonnie are separated from the rest of the crew. At the end of the chapter, a girl appears claiming to be Vegapunk. So last chapter we saw the devastating power of Imu and how it destroyed an entire island. Some people wondered if that thing in the sky was some sort of ancient weapon based on ancient technology, maybe a flying saucer or something else akin to the ancient technology of the Pluton hidden under the water under Wano. We saw last chapter the Straw Hats approach a winter island after Robin spoke about the last road poneglyph that has not been seen in a long time. Its location is a mystery, and so some wondered, including myself, if it might involve the man with the burn scar Eustace Kid spoke about, and whether Luffy and Eustace Kid would come into contact again despite going different ways after Wano ended. And so an arc that centers not just Julie Bonnie, who randomly appeared, but Eustace Kid as well. We know that Kid's partner Killer ate an artificial smile devil fruit. The people of Wano of Ibizu Town did too. That hasn't been corrected yet. They're still afflicted by what Caesar the Clown did to them, along with Doflamingo, Orochi, and Kaido. Caesar the Clown, who was a part of MADS, the scientific organization Vegapunk also belonged to. The group introduced us by Queen, who was a part of it. Sanji, who fought Queen during Wano, could learn some things from Vegapunk about himself, as could Frankie, who learned a lot from being on Vegapunk's homeland. And all of this technology talk matters because of the spoilers for the chapter, which we'll get into detail now. I would also point out that ancient weapons, advanced technology. We know there are hints that Eustace Kid and Killer may be having a past and perhaps being impacted in some way by technology or weapons as they were watching during Punk Hazard. And Killer questioned if Kid had any interest, and he, for whatever reason, did not. But it didn't hurt to know in his words. The island the Straw Hats arrive at in this winter terrain is named after the title of the chapter, or the title of the chapter is named after it. Chapter 1061, Egghead, the Island of the Future. And so the initial spoilers tell us that the Straw Hat crew sails to Egghead, the island of the future that belongs to Vegapunk. I immediately thought about Sonic the Hedgehog and Dr. Ivo Robotnik, better known by the alias Dr. Eggman. He was the main antagonist of the Sonic the Hedgehog series. The wiki for him tells us that he is an evil human scientist and the arch nemesis of Sonic the Hedgehog. Boasting an IQ of 300, Eggman is a self-proclaimed evil scientist and a genius megalomaniac who dreams of dominating the world with his Eggman empire using his scientific expertise. In Eggman's quest for world conquest, his plans have varied from turning animals into robot slaves to making incredibly dangerous global threats that have involved building war machines, using doomsday devices to threaten entire nations, and relying on ancient mythological deities or weapons bent on destruction, all in the name of achieving his goals. At times, Eggman has even gone as far as to target the entire universe and hatched schemes to control space-time itself. Eggman is the self-proclaimed world's greatest scientist and soon to be the world's greatest ruler. Some of this might align with what Kuma told us on Thriller Bark, that Dr. Vegapunk is the leading scientist in the employment of the Marines, and Vegapunk's scientific achievements are said to be at least 500 years ahead of current technology. One other character that I would point out that ties into the chapter name Egghead Island and Vegapunk is this guy, Dr. Tsukimi, an old manor scientist with an egg head who appeared in Nell's cover story, the supposed creator of the automata. He created the 4 wingless automata on Karakuri Island. One day he saw a gigantic explosion on the moon, which led him to become shocked, and he died while choking on his dumpling. After his death, his automata swore revenge on whatever caused the explosion on the moon that resulted in the death of their creator. Now, a connection that I drew, and maybe this was said in the manga, I just don't remember it, so I'm drawing it after the fact. But a connection that I drew is on the moon there was an explosion from Enel's Arc Maxim, which also ties into the Uranus parallel some have made, because Uranus had the same destructive impact on that island as the Arc Maxim. And Uranus was in the preceding chapter, chapter 1060, a strange coincidence. So maybe there's a connection with the sudden introduction of Vegapunk's island Egghead, the island of the future, and the attributes of the Sonic the Hedgehog, Dr. Eggman, who was known for using ancient weapons and ancient technology. I don't know if Dr. Tsukimi is actually Vegapunk, and maybe it explains the girl at the end claiming to be Vegapunk. Maybe Vegapunk has extended his life by digitally downloading himself onto computers, or maybe this is just a robot, and his voice is coming out of the robot. But the moon, which in this image clearly has advanced tech, as if Oda is saying the advanced technology of Vegapunk might have been contributed to by that which originated on the moon somehow. For those of you that like conspiracies like the TV series Ancient Aliens, people say that about the planet Earth as well. That in the past, some of humankind's advancements were aided by a superior alien race. Imagine if the final arc of One Piece is humans versus aliens, pirates versus pirates, with aliens being the original pirates, plundering Earth of its gold and enslaving humanity. Since we know the celestial dragons, and Imu in particular maybe, desire offerings of gold. Isn't it also interesting that the Four Emperor saga really begins with an underling of Vegapunk, Caesar the Clown, on a winter island, Punk Hazard? And now the final saga begins with Vegapunk himself on a winter island. We really are in the end game, and just maybe Vegapunk is responsible for so much that has happened in the story. I also wonder how much he knows about the true history, technology, devil fruits, the oceans and sea stone, outer space, and so much more. Clearly Seraphim, which Vegapunk created, and maybe Vegapunk can tell us something about Imu-sama himself. Now, seeing Sword in chapter 1061 is very exciting. I wonder who the other members are. Does it include Smoker and Tashigi? Why would Sword be revealed among them, and would this in any way suggest Fujitora is involved, given that's who Smoker and Tashigi were with? Or if I have that wrong, it at least appears that Smoker is with Fujitora in some sort of flashback. Their aims seemed aligned with whatever Sword's purpose is. The current purpose of Sword might be now to retrieve Kobe, which ties into my Blackbeard Law Rocky Port incident video about Law, Blackbeard, Kobe, and Aokiji, and what role Aokiji might play in Kobe's capture and rescue as well. So check out that video after this. It's on the screen here and linked at the end. We learn that Helmeppo even wants to borrow Vegapunk's Seraphim to save Kobe. Helmeppo trained under Garp alongside Kobe, so how does Garp feel about all of this as well? We also find out that Luffy, Jinbei, Chopper, and Bonnie are separated from the rest of the crew, and this is the same as Punk Hazard. The same beginning sequence of events. The crew separated once again. And like I mentioned at the end of the chapter, a girl appears claiming to be Vegapunk. But this might not actually be Vegapunk, since as I've seen some point out about the spoilers on Twitter, Kuma and others spoke of Vegapunk as if he were in fact a man. So maybe a robot with Vegapunk's voice as I mentioned. Maybe Vegapunk downloaded himself into a machine. Who knows what exactly is going on? But as usual, we will have to wait and see. Don't forget to like the video if you think One Piece is the GOAT. Comment your thoughts below, share this with your friends, and subscribe. Also click the notification bell. And if you have a Twitter, feel free to give me a follow on there as well. Also, let me know if you liked this spoiler video in the comments, and if you want more early breakdowns of the spoilers of the chapters, I will be dropping a full review of everything that actually happens in the chapter on Thursday or Friday. Check out that Blackbeard Law Rocky Port incident, Kobe and Aokiji's role video too, a long statement I know. As always, there's more to come. Until next time.